In this tutorial, we'll look at the variability of score distributions. So we'll compute range, interquartile range, and standard deviation. So to get a range, we need to find the minimum and the maximum, and we do a difference between those. So first we'll find the minimum score, and there'll be min here. Yeah. So the function is min, and then we get the data in. So we'll have the minimum for test 1, that's a 6. And then to find the maximum score for this data. So the function is max, and then we get the data in here. And then we have the maximum score. So the range is the difference between these two. So I'm going to do a difference between these two cells. Yeah, so 15 minus 6. So range, for the first test is 9 points difference. And then once I have those, and I can fill them over. And for the other two tests, and you can see that the test 2 has the same range as the first test, but the minimum and the maximum is different because the mean is different. And my third test has smaller range, and which also matches with the frequency distribution here. So range just use the minimum and the maximum score, so it can be easily influenced by extreme scores. So for example, if I change this to 1, and you can see that the range is now becomes changes from 3 to 12 points difference, although the majority of scores is within this 10 to 12 range. So range is influenced by extreme scores. And so to get around that, we have used some other statistics to help us to index the variability. One of the statistics is the interquartile range. So basically, you look at what is score at the first quartile and what is score at the third quartile, and you do a difference between them. So basically, now looking at the extreme scores, at each end of the distribution. So to get the interquartile range, we need to find the quartiles. Yeah, so what's the first quartile? And the first quartile in Excel, so it is this quartile. If you double click, and then you get your data in. And so, so you will be prompted. So what is? So you just put 1. That will be, you'll get the first quartile. And to get the third quartile, the process is similar. So we just get a score at the 75th percentile. And then the function is still quartile. And again, the data, I'm analyzing the same data. But here I'm looking at the third quartile. So that's the difference. And so we have the first quartile and the third quartile. And then we know that the median is the second quartile, which is at the 50th percentile. So next, to get the interquartile range, that's RQR, we'll do a difference between the first and third quartile. So use this minus the first quartile here. We get the interquartile range, which will be smaller than the range. Yeah. And then we fill over the information. So we'll get the others. Yeah. So for the other two tests. And you can see that the test 1, test 2 have same interquartile range, because you look at the shape, it's kind of in terms of spread, that seem to be similar. And test 3 has narrow the interquartile range. Although we added a outlier, and you do see that the range is getting bigger, but it does not affect the interquartile range. So I can move this back. The original score is 10. You can see that the range is smaller, yeah, but the interquartile range remains the same. So if I change back here, so that's 1. You see that this is getting larger, but this does not change. So interquartile range is another way to look at the spread. And the other way, so the third one I'm looking at is the standard deviation, which is looking at the average difference that's from the center, basically that's from the mean. So in standard deviation, it's like a mean. They use all the score information for calculation. Yeah, so to get a standard deviation in Excel, so we are looking at the standard deviation for the sample. So it's this function, and then we get the data in. So we get this 2. I'm going to reduce the decimals. 0.32. So on average, the difference for test 1 is 2.32 points. The mean is at 11.15. I'm going to fill this over. And so you can see that the average difference, the standard deviation is kind of similar, yeah, for the 3 one. That's because I have a, so the standard deviation is also influenced by the extreme scores, because like mean, they use all the data points. So if I change back to 10, you can see that my standard deviation also reduced, much reduced, yeah. So this is a tutorial that shows how we get these different measures of different measures that to index the variability of a score distribution. Thank you for watching this.